switch.
Hello and welcome to the Official Watchers YouTube channel. Here we are in Jardin du Mayfair, heaven on earth for the watch enthusiast. Today I have a watch that I haven't even seen before, so let's take a look at the Audemars Piguet Code 1159 Flying Tourbillon. Guys, I just want to say a huge thank you. We have hit 1.5 million views, which is just mind-blowing. So thank you so much for the support. Please do click subscribe so we can keep these videos coming your way. Right, so these little green boxes always bring a bit of happiness to Jardin du Mayfair, and this one is no exception. Let's take a look at the code 1159 Flying Tourbillon. I'm glad that we're all sitting down because this is the first time we're reviewing an AP that isn't a Royal Oak or a derivative of the Genta design. In 2019, Audemars Piguet released a completely new line of watches that they named Code 1159. The new model line was 7 years in development, and it was AP's new take on a round watch with an AP twist, and it billed as their contemporary evolution of a round watch. Response to its launch was muted, shall we say, largely because AP and the Royal Oak have become so synonymous that anything new was likely to be assessed against the legend and found wanting. Which is a real shame actually, because the construction of the Code 1159 is really quite brilliant. It doesn't deserve to be standing in the shadows of its older and more dominant stablemate. The architecture and construction of the case is complex and blends a circular bezel and rear framing octagonal mid-case, a shape which ties all of the AP lines together. The lugs are hollowed as well for a view of the lines and the curvature of the watch. It's a really nice touch. The mix of rounded and angular elements is a real pleasure to observe in detail from the sides, while from the top the code looks like a relatively formal old-school round watch. It reminds me of the saying, business at the front, party round the back, which, although that saying was used to describe mullets in the 90s, does seem terribly appropriate when discussing this particular line from AP. The 1159 Sapphire is another fantastic touch which features a double curved crystal that creates some deliberate distortions of the dial when viewed at different angles. Rather than being an irritation, these are a really fascinating and engaging way to look at the watch. I have to say, the Sapphire is one of my favourite features of the piece. So let's get it out and have a look at what it feels like in hand. It's got this kind of crazy, kind of party vibe to it. I think this is a nighttime piece. The holes in the case are really, really cool. I love that as a touch. AP have done a good job there. From the faintly damp squib of initial release, the Code model line has grown and evolved to offer some serious knockout pieces, which brings me to the subject of this review, the Flying Tourbillon Onyx. The Onyx has a white gold outer case with a ceramic mid case and is a very reasonable 41mm in size. The contrast of the metal and ceramic is spot on, and it rather cannily avoids looking monochromatic. It's not too clinical with the use of rose gold hands, text and tourbillon frame. It's very much an exercise in less is more, with no indices and text beyond its AP branding. I suspect that the restraint is used deliberately to draw attention to the dual stars of the show, the Flying Tourbillon and the dial. There is no turn tapisserie, no fancy gradient, nada, nothing. What there is, however, is a glorious smooth sliver of onyx. Onyx is a semi-precious stone which has been polished and set over the base plate and allowed to speak for itself with no additional frills barring the additions of AP's signature in rose gold. The end result is a deep gloss jet black dial with the kind of tone and shifts that richness can only ever be achieved with the use of natural stones. It is absolutely plain, bordering on austere, but in equal measure, absolutely gorgeous. As stone dial production is a tricky process with a high rate of rejection, AP used Somico, a specialist dial company, to cut, create and polish the Onyx. given that the structure of the case is so complex. As is the tourbillon, a busier dial would be a detriment to this piece rather than an asset. So AP have really played a bit of a blinder there. The watch is equipped with AP's caliber 2950, a 27 joule in-house movement that offers a 65-hour power reserve and made its debut in the 2018 Royal Oak line. A lovely touch on the Flying Tourbillon is that its bridge has been black coated to contrast with the dial. The standard 1159 double sapphire is present and offers both a crystal clear top view and deliberate distortion from the side, particularly around the chapter ring. This is an AP magic trick, and once you get used to it, it becomes a charming characteristic. It's difficult to describe the way that the crystal interacts with the dial, so I'm glad we're able to show you in the sapphire, so to speak. The strap is surprisingly casual. I would have expected alligator, as that tends to be custom with the top of the line models, but in this case AP have gone with the rather sporty looking rubber coated strap. It's an unusual choice, but one that I feel is an excellent one. Alligator may have added an additional formality and texture to a watch that seems to almost pride itself on minimalism. That said, rubber on a 20-meter water resistance watch AP is a bit cheeky, but visually it works a treat. Okay, so price. This is of course a Flying Tourbillon and a very special piece. It's priced at £118,000. The eagle-eyed amongst you may have spotted that I'm wearing the burgundy 1159. This is the standard chronograph model, priced at £33,000. And I have to say, now I'm spending some time with these watches, they have grown on me a bit. So guys, hit me in the comments. Is a circular AP the thing for you, or is it a bit of a crazy one? I don't know. I'd like to hear what you think. Please do like, comment, share and subscribe, and I'll keep these videos coming your way.